So today's video is going to be two-pronged, and it's going to focus on leaks, specifically from two entities. We've got Kojima and we've got Konami. Starting with Kojima's side of things, Death Stranding is a game that came out not that long ago, a couple years back now, and people have been wondering, like, is it going to get a sequel, or is Kojima going to work on other projects? It would seem as though there are multiple projects in the work at Kojima Productions, but it would seem as though we now definitely know what one of them will be. Death Stranding 2, as leaked by, well, Norman Reedus, the protagonist of the original game, who confirmed that he has started work on part 2, as he put it. Now, whether he's going to be the protagonist for this one, or if he's going to be a character in it who's going to pass the baton over to the next character, be it, Lou, or, some new character. I don't know, really. There are no details, obviously. But indeed, as reported by Nibel here via this tweet, Norman Reedus seems to have confirmed that a Death Stranding sequel is in production in a new interview. This is an interview that was conducted by news outlet Neo Edit. The headline here reads, Norman Reedus on the end of an era. I think they're talking about Walking Dead. But if you scroll all the way down here, you'll find a little excerpt about Death Stranding. Norman Reedus is asked, okay, so you got the book going on, you've got the final season coming out, then the spin-off, and you're filming Death Stranding, the video game. And Norman Reedus, just without reservation, blurted out, we just started the second one. Just completely casually, just confirmed something that Kojima probably wanted to keep secret until it was ready to be announced. And then the interviewer asked, how did that come about? And he explains the whole story of how Guillermo del Toro, who gave me my first movie, called me up and said, hey, there's this guy named Hideo Kojima. He's going to call you. Just say yes. And I go, what do you mean, just say yes? He goes, stop being an asshole. Just say yes. Then I was in San Diego, and Hideo came with a big group of people. He's from Tokyo, and he showed me what he was working on a game called Silent Hill. I was blown away by what he was showing me, and I was like, yes, let's do this. It's not Miss Pac-Man. It's so realistic. It's so futuristic. It's so complicated and beautiful. I was so completely blown away. And then it took me maybe 2 or 3 years to finish all the mocap sessions and everything for Death Stranding. It takes a lot of work. And then Death Stranding came out and just won all these awards, and it was a huge thing. So we just started part 2 of that. It would seem as though Norman Reedus recently started doing, I guess, what I would assume to be the performance capture for the game. So I don't know if that gives us an idea for how far along this game is. But yeah, Death Stranding 2, it would seem, based on what Norman Reedus is saying here, is in the works. It hasn't obviously been officially confirmed yet by Kojima, but it doesn't get any more obvious than Norman Reedus just saying it's happening. I'm personally really excited. I loved Death Stranding, and going back to it with a director's cut, I actually appreciated it even more because I didn't have any preconceived notions, and I knew what I was getting into the second time around through the director's cut, and I had an even better time actually playing this game a second time. And I feel like there's this really interesting and unique foundation that could be taken to the next level with a sequel. And if you know Hideo Kojima and his games, you know he doesn't play around with sequels. Every sequel to a game series feels like a huge leap forward with Kojima. He did that with Metal Gear, and I feel like he has so many ideas with Death Stranding that he felt compelled to make a sequel, and I feel like this game is just really going to expand those ideas to the next level and bring us something unique, which I feel like this industry needs. That's what Kojima always brings to the table. He doesn't chase trends. He doesn't try to make the game that will monetize the best or whatever. He just tries to, I think, genuinely make art that's interesting and unique and that appeals to people in unique ways, and that is just a purely Kojima passion project. And so I, for one, welcome the prospect of a Death Stranding 2, and as more information comes out about this game, I will be sure to keep you guys updated, as obviously I'm a big fan of Kojima games. Now, Dusk Golem here brings up an interesting point on why Norman Reedus might have been so casual about blurting out such a major piece of information. That's because the gaming industry and the filmmaking industry are very different in terms of how they keep secrets. He put it as follows: Norman Reedus just casually mentioning he's working on Death Stranding Part 2, and an extension. Hollywood actors so commonly casually leaking things like this is hardly surprising, because in Hollywood, projects existing is very often not considered a trade secret. It's a bit interesting to see the dichotomy there. At least currently, most video game projects try to keep their existence a secret until very close to their release as part of their marketing plan. Hollywood usually announce projects close to being greenlit. Fun contrast with a Hollywood film project. Once it's greenlit, usually right there and then, everyone finds out that it's in development. You get to find out who's cast sort of as the casting happens. With video games, though, they keep that locked pretty tight, and actors don't get to announce their involvement until, basically, if you're a primary character, until the first trailer comes out. Even then, it depends really on the project. And for, side characters, actors, they tend to only be able to announce their involvement on the day of the game's launch and stuff like that. It's just very different how stuff gets announced in these two different realms. And so Norman Reedus, being more used to the film side of things, figured, I don't see why it's an issue to announce that this project is in development. But in the games industry, that's something of a bombshell. So, yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. There's no putting the genie back in the bottle. It would seem as though Death Stranding is getting a sequel, and it's been, a few years now. So I'm excited to see in the years that it takes to create Death Stranding 2, just how much the established ideas can expand. All right, so that's the Kojima side of things. Let's now delve into the Konami side of things. Silent Hill is going to see a major push, it would seem, as there are 3 Silent Hill projects in development based on recent leaks. Here's a Video Games Chronicle article whose headline reads, "Leaked images appear to show a new British Silent Hill, or a Silent Hill that's going to take place in the UK. Images shared by known insider have since been removed in a copyright claim." See, people may have had doubts had Konami not done anything about this and just kind of not commented, but the fact that Konami went out of their way to issue a copyright claim suggests that the leaks are very real, and I don't know what they thought would happen. You can't really quelch a leak once it's happened. It's the internet. That stuff spreads like wildfire, and people have already saved those screenshots on multiple, computer devices and servers and whatnot. It's out there. There's no way. This is another one of those, no putting the genie back in the bottle kind of situation. Now, I'm not going to show you the screenshots because Konami's going out of their way to copyright anyone or anything that shows these screenshots, but this Video Games Chronicle article, look it up and you'll find the images there. Now, the leaker was actually none other than Aesthetic Gamer, aka Dusk Golem, who does a lot of coverage on horror games and has insider sources that relate to some of the goings-ons for projects like Silent Hill, and this is what he said. "Silent Hill leak, there's a lot I'm not sharing for now. This is from a relatively new source for me, but I have been given more than enough proof to believe them. I also will mention the names Anita and Maya, SMS messages, and this is not the only Silent Hill game in development. The shots, now you may notice that the media is not displayed because, well, Konami copyright claimed these images." He added, "They're a bit dated from 2020, so maybe this project looks a bit different now, but what I'm choosing to share. I know many will doubt this, but I have a lot of private proof to show this is real, and as always, I continue to wait on the Silent Hill game reveal." And once this stuff got copyrighted, it became as good as confirmation, so good job, Konami, there. Now, this leak had a snowball effect where a number of other folks started to share what they've heard about Silent Hill's goings-on behind the scenes, with Jeff Grubb retweeting this tweet from Nate the Hate 2, who said, "Bloober team working on Silent Hill 2 remake, reworked puzzles, new endings, timed PlayStation console exclusive. Multiple Silent Hill projects in development, including new mainline entry and side stories. Not confirmed, just sharing what I've heard." And Jeff Grubb has heard similar things. "This is the stuff I have heard, and it comes from multiple different sources. Not all of my sources are primary, but everything is mostly lining up. To me, the biggest indicator is the stuff I've seen lines up with Konami doing a big reveal at E3 last year before it pulled out." Around the same time, Andy Robinson, who is an editor at Video Games Chronicle, also shared that, based on his sources, this information is accurate. "Silent Hill, read my report from last year. As I understand it, at least 3 projects at different studios could currently be in development." Clicking on the link will take you to the following Video Games Chronicle article from May 16th, 2022, whose headline reads, "Konami Silent Hill plans could include a remake, full sequel, and episodic stories." These are the 3 games that are in development: the Silent Hill 2 remake, the full sequel, and then the episodic stories. Scrolling further down, Video Games Chronicle references Nate the Hate and Jeff Grubb's tweets about how there's a remake of fan-favorite 2001 installment Silent Hill 2 in development, which apparently matches up with what Video Games Chronicle has heard from their sources. It's claimed that the remake will feature reworked AI, animations, puzzles, and several new endings, and potentially release as a timed exclusive on PlayStation consoles. And this is the project that is seemingly in development at Bloober Team, who are behind the game The Medium, and also said and relayed previously that they were working on a horror game from a very famous gaming publisher, and immediately people thought, oh, it's gotta be Silent Hill, but nobody knew specifically what project it was. It would seem as though rumors are lining up in saying that it's actually a Silent Hill 2 remake that Bloober Team specifically is helming. Next up, we got the short stories episodic series Silent Hill entry. That one's apparently being developed by Annapurna Interactive, which is actually a really well-known game publisher who release just really incredible indie games, including Outer Wilds, which is one of the most heralded games, one of the most critically acclaimed indie games, and apparently they're working with some folks to publish this more serialized episodic series of Silent Hill titles. Apparently Annapurna was named by 2 people independently, so that seems to line up, though they said many studios had been involved in pitches for Silent Hill, and it's possible Annapurna was simply involved in one of those discussions rather than a project that was eventually greenlit. So it could very well be that Annapurna was just one candidate, but the project was ultimately given to somebody else. Or it could turn out to be that Annapurna ultimately got this project. And then last but not least, Konami is also planning to release a new mainline entry in the Silent Hill series. It's not clear who's leading the game, but VGC reported last year that a Japanese studio was working on a Silent Hill project. It makes sense to give the new mainline entry to a Japanese studio, given that Silent Hill originated from Japanese developers, and I'd heard rumors that with this specific project, the original developers behind Silent Hill 2, they're involved with this project, and if they're back, then this could certainly potentially be one to keep an eye out for. Now, Video Games Chronicle also talks about the leaked images of the British Silent Hill, and they relayed that the images leaked last week are understood to be related to a PT-style teaser game codenamed Sakura, which is intended to be released as a free digital title to build anticipation for the larger projects. Gotta love how after the way they treated Kojima, Konami is employing the strategy that Kojima came up with. PT is kind of the first game of its kind, a short, sort of separate teaser to the real game. It would seem as though that concept has started to gain some traction and popularity, and Konami is going to employ that despite their feud with Kojima. It would seem as though they're admitting that's a good idea that they want to lean towards. Now, a big cherry on top to all of this is that with Video Games Chronicle's previous reports lining up with current rumors that also seem to be lining up, it would seem as though their past report that new installments and remakes of its biggest franchises, including Metal Gear and Castlevania, this may also turn out to be true. It seems more likely that these reports are accurate, given that Video Games Chronicle's reports on Konami's goings-ons, all of that so far proving to line up with all of the rumors and all of the reports from other sources as well. And the rumor is that with Metal Gear, there's a Metal Gear Solid remake in the works, and I'm thinking that those rumors are looking more and more likely, though no confirmation yet, so don't take my word for it. But that would certainly be something to be excited about, as long as, they give it to the right team and they don't mess it up. Now, after reports of 3 games plus a PT-style demo being in development, Dusk Golem decided to comment on this, confirming and corroborating these rumors, stating that just to say the 3 Silent Hill games is true. Technically, it's 4, but really it's 3, the 4th one being that I guess, PT-style playable teaser. I know people don't like rumor hopping after the fact, but if people want more validation, I'll say that is 100% what I've both heard and seen. There is a lot more going on with the Silent Hill IP than people think right now, and a lot of these projects are further along than people might expect. Apparently, back in 2018, Konami's idea to make 2 Silent Hill games, I reported, ended up evolving into 3.5 projects in a bit of imitative to revive the franchise initiative. And then to add a nice bow to this leak package, one of the actors involved in the British Silent Hill project, it would seem as though the way she has reacted to the leaks kind of confirms their validity. Tokyo-based actor Fadil Waked, I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry, seems to have confirmed the leaked Silent Hill images are legitimate. Here's what she said on Instagram. Wow, I keep getting messages and my pics leaked everywhere. I'm curious now to check the new Silent Hill. The leaked images do show a character that resembles this actor, so I don't know if she's just the model for the character or if she's the full performance capture for the character. But either way, the actor commenting on this thing being real and this thing spreading and, you know, her pictures leaking everywhere and that she's excited to check out the new Silent Hill. I mean, it doesn't get any more blatant than that as far as confirmations go. What all of this indicates is that a major Silent Hill blowout is imminent on the part of Konami. As far as Death Stranding 2 is concerned, maybe we'll have to wait a bit longer. It's just Norman Reedus blurting out that they've started working on part 2, so they may not have enough work done for that game yet to show something this year, but maybe next. But yeah, leaks everywhere, ladies and gentlemen, and with Death Stranding 2, they had that lid closed pretty tight until Norman Reedus just blurted that out. As far as Silent Hill goes, though, I mean, that's been leaking like a broken faucet. We've been hearing rumors about all of these new Silent Hill projects in the works for a while now, but now the rumors are getting more clear than ever and are being more corroborated than ever, which tends to suggest that these projects are far along enough that we're probably getting an announcement pretty soon. That's one man's take on everything. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on Death Stranding 2 being in the works, according to Norman Reedus, and what you think about the various Silent Hill projects that are currently in development based on the numerous leaks and rumors out there. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.